it's the same idea of how you communicate this to your patient. You may have to communicate it differently to an insurance company. If they have requirements, I don't want to force my language upon them. So like what Matt's saying about an FN, and I did this toe touch and blah, blah, that insurance person is not looking at it from my lens. So then you have to say, did that fall under the code of what is required for therapeutic exercise, right? Or is that neuromuscular re-education? And the great news is a lot of the SFMA fits that. We just phrase it differently or do it in a different order. But I'm still spending time, for example, on the exam, I'm measuring multiple joints and assessing the range of motion to see, is this within normal limits or outside of those normal limits, which is one hallmark of one part of a musculoskeletal exam. And then I'm asking about pain, and then I'm going to put my hands on that person, and I can assess other things, tenderness, swelling, tightness, things like that, that will go into that exam later. But sometimes people, I think, get tripped up in the SFMA about writing the way you did the SFMA in your notes, and we sometimes have to translate that to who's reading it.
Yeah, that's really good, Michelle. If I can just add one thing to that, you know, at the end of the day, the SFMA gets you down to an impairment, and when they're mobility, it's range of motion. So you're going to document the range of motion that you measure. When they're, in our world, motor control, or what we call stability motor control, which happens often, that's sort of a aha moment for first-time SFMA students. They're a little harder to document, but we can capture those actually using parts of the Y balance test or an anterior reach for balance. A lot of times that's the way to capture it. So keep that in mind. I think one of the hardest things, if this is brand new to you, is, hey, they have back pain or they have neck pain, but I'm going to go treat the ankle. It's like, well, whoa, wait a minute. Like the script said this, or, you know, the insurance is only paying for this. It's like, you got to cut the cord and move on. It's time to move forward with musculoskeletal health and be part of the solution. How you document needs to be accurate, but you don't have to scream from the mountaintops that you're treating an ankle in a back pain patient. It could be, you know, range of motion, put the measure, move on, and you're still going to be, as Josh said, you're still going to be doing things with the low back as well. There's tons of data to support it. Regional independence is real. We have research behind that. Multiple impairments, risk factors associated with musculoskeletal health are real. We have a list of 13 that we work off of that are evidence-based, and those are things that we get into when we get into the whole system. So all this stuff is real. We're going to keep confronting these problems one at a time. And good news, bad news scenario, for most insurance companies now in the United States, MSK expense is number one for them. So all of a sudden, they care a little bit more. So I think we do have this opportunity here in the next, whatever time period it is, to really rise up and say, we have some solutions for this, and confront this, because insurance companies are listening, or they're scrutinizing more. If they're scrutinizing more, it's such an opportunity to educate, right, and explain what we do. So it's just a really good opportunity, particularly if we can push at them from a lot of different perspectives, as we're talking about here with our system. So.